mouth.
Oh, me too. Okay. Should be a broadcast. My computer was so slow. There we go.
Let me
Vicky.
there.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the
Hey.
channel. I'm Lizzie.
I'm Christina.
This is my channel, obviously, CarnageCandyy. You can talk about your channel.
Oh, I'm from Bunyip's Horror Gallery.
For anybody who
Oh,
doesn't
you got
know.
a kitty.
Yeah, I got like 3 kitties. Too many kitties. I love my cats. Sometimes obnoxious. Ooh.
So I've been binging a bunch of 90s the last 2 days. 90s horror films.
Oh, hell yeah. So I know we talked about it a little bit on Facebook previously, obviously, but for the other people, what is your favorite 90s horror?
I really love like Silence of the Lambs, and I love Army of Darkness. I love Bram Stoker's Dracula. I like Sleepy Hollow. It's kind of hard to like pin it down to just my
One.
absolute favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. We're here to crawl on your horror. Well, anybody who's been on my channel knows that Scream is my absolute fave. I can't really see it, but to my right is a wall of like Scream stuff. And then I can't see it because I got a sweater on, but I also have a Scream tattoo. So I'm able to pin it down to one because Scream just happens to be my favorite in general. But
I definitely made sure to watch that before we did our stream because I knew it was your favorite.
Yay!
That was like my #1 movie when I first started my binge.
Nice. Yeah. I didn't have to rewatch that one. Everybody scream. So, anything in particular we want to address, I guess?
Well, why don't we just start out with Scream then, since it's your favorite, and I just recently rewatched it. I just thought it was a really fun movie. I guess it came out mid 90s, 96.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a creative way to go about the slasher film, and I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I know Scream kind of gets a little flack, I feel like, from people maybe younger and older. Yes, Callie, we know you're here. But for being like slightly cheesy or like comedic, I've heard people call it like a comedy horror, which like bothers me to no end. But because I'm like, it is a horror, but I kind of get, I guess, where people are coming from. But it did like help kind of revamp the slasher and horrors, especially in like a mainstream way, because we had the big three, and they were getting a lot of remakes, and I think people were kind of tired of that. And so then this movie comes out, and it's kind of a horror film for horror fans.
Right.
It addresses a lot of the tropes in horror films and just talks about a lot of the horror films. And so yeah, it's definitely a film and franchise that needs a little more credit than I think it sometimes gets from people.
Oh, I enjoyed
Kind
it.
of
I absolutely enjoyed it. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot when I was little, so like when I got a chance to fully commit to watching horror, I just like binged through everything, like probably early 2000s.
Nice.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
was just one of those really fun movies. And like you were saying, how it went and talked about all the rules in a slasher, just a fun way to go about kind of not really, I mean, kind of poking fun, but like just saying here are the rules and making it in a fun way. Um, yeah, but I thought it was a great movie.
Me too. No, Vicky, I have not watched the season 3 VH1 whatever thing of the season yet. I need to watch that this weekend. Uh, but no, have you watched that yet?
No, I've seen the first 2 seasons from MTV,
Mm-hmm.
and I have not seen the 3rd season.
No.
But I like I was saying, I enjoyed I've enjoyed pretty much everything from the series, even the MTV ones, even though I know they're a little bit
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit much.
I know people. I think a lot of people kind of hate on the series, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. If you step away from it, don't think about it as part of like Scream, because it is in a whole nother like realm, and the movies
Right.
don't exist at that point, and so it's its own thing, and you just kind of have to view it that way. And I liked
Right.
it.
Yeah, I thought it was fun too. Um, yeah.
I'm trying to check the chat to see what people are saying.
I really liked the version of Don't Fear the Reaper in Scream.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was really cool. I was really into that song.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's funny because it wasn't that I wasn't allowed to watch stuff. Like, my parents were pretty chill. I watched, like, the old monster films with my parents, and we used to watch, like, Rocky Horror every year. Like, my parents were pretty cool about that stuff. My parents are also kind of, like, younger, but, so it wasn't that I wasn't allowed to watch stuff. I just didn't really get into horror until, like, my earlier 20s. I'm almost 30 for anybody who doesn't know, but so yeah, it was just like I was an easily terrified child. And I do remember watching Final Destination when that first came out, which that kind of like misses the 90s mark, but
Yeah, just by a little bit,
like
but that's a really
the
fun one.
2000s. Yeah, and now it's one of my favorite franchises. But I remember watching it when it first came out, and I was like 10. And yeah, that was a bad idea because I was like terrified of everything for like a year.
You know
Uh,
what? It's so cool though when you have a movie that you can like reference on daily life. You're like, I feel like Final Destination's about to happen. I feel like I just avoided my death. You
yeah,
know, just
exactly.
it's just fun that that can be brought up in like daily life.
I know, like I was working somewhere once and something fell and somebody like made a comment about Final Destination and I was like, yeah. And like we have this weird ladder at work that like it goes up to the roof, but it just is like there and it's like locked into place. But we've all been like, somebody gonna be Final Destination by that thing one day. Like it's just everybody knows what you're talking about. I feel like even people who aren't like big horror fans still like know what Final Destination is.
Right.
You know, talking about this.
I saw someone bring up Candyman in the chat, and that's a really good
Yes.
one. I watched 2 of them yesterday again. I just love the whole like urban legend myth kind of a thing, and how it's brought back with the cool symbolism of like using mirrors as like a way of transportation, and like the meat hook on the hand.
Yes.
Um, it's just a cool way to bring those urban legends into film, I think.
I agree. That's fun. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some other ones. I Know What You Did Last Summer is another favorite of mine.
Yeah. I
Uh,
was sad to see that they didn't have that on Netflix anymore. I was like, "Oh my gosh," because I wanted to binge that one too.
oh yeah, that one's no longer on there. I'm trying to think of
Didn't that one have
where I originally watched it.
let's see. Yeah, Nightmare Maven. Yes, it is low key romantic. I just love his voice too. It's just so iconic.
That's true.
Tony
Yeah.
Todd.
I know it's in the Final Destination film. Keep bringing Brad back to that, but and then okay, Ben, no, you're wrong, but he said, speaking of urban legends, why is it better than Scream? And I said no, you're just wrong. Then I know he did last summer on Shudder. Maybe. I'm not I don't really use Shudder much. I need to. I had it and then I canceled it and then I got it again.
Same. Yeah, I was subscribed for a while and then I didn't have time to use it. But now that it's summer, I just have so much going on, like, and I don't have enough time for all the streaming services.
I know. Well, and my thing was I joined Shudder at like the very beginning and it was like I think it was cheaper at the time and they didn't have a lot on. And now they have like all their own like original content they're making and they're getting all these like really good movies and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so now it's like blowing up and getting big and everybody's talking about Shudder and I'm like, well, I'll give it a second chance because when I first had it, it was like, meh. I don't know what December. I found it really slow. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a bit of like a slower burn. It's more of like a taunting film. I know what you did last summer is, than like a fast slasher.
Right. I did not know that about the original Candyman story, Random Horror. I did not.
Oh, the Candyman's not even a black man. He's white as the blonde frizzy hair. So look. Did you know that the short story is based on the forbidden set in Liverpool, England? I mean, I figured it was based on something.
Yeah. Well, I was reading I Know What You Did Last Summer was based on a novel somewhere.
Yes. So there's like a book or novel that I believe is by the same title.
Yeah.
But the woman that wrote the book is not a very big fan of, or I don't think she likes the movies or franchise at all because they strayed away, like I think pretty far from the book. So that's what I've read. I've never read the book, but what I've read from it is that she's not a fan because they just like changed.
I totally just pulled it up on Audible. I'm gonna eventually listen to
it. That's a good idea. I don't know. I should get into Audible.
I love Audible. It's just I listen to horror when I fall asleep, which people probably think is a little bit strange, but my mom's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, The Faculty. That's a good one.
My gosh, I love that movie so much.
That one's just got like a bunch of like iconic 90s actors in it who probably weren't yet, but
of course, like my favorite in that movie is Elijah Wood. I just love him so much.
Of course. Adorable young Elijah Wood.
Yes. And I like their kind of take on the body snatcher-esque sort of and kind of made it like 90s teen.
Yeah, horror. Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you have any other notes on anything you wanted to? I'll just bounce off of you.
Oh, okay. I don't know. For Faculty or let's see. Let's see. Well, since we're talking about Robert Rodriguez, he came out with another movie that in the 90s, From Dusk Till Dawn. Which was a really fun vampire flick, which I know most of us have seen.
Yes. It's been a while since I've seen that one. But I know I've seen it. But yeah, that's a really fun one. I'm trying to think some other good ones. Someone did say the Blair Witch Project, which was a big deal during the 90s.
Yes. I didn't see it when it first came out, so of course I knew a lot of people initially thought it was like real.
Yeah, that was my sister's 3 years older than me, and she's like one of those people that watched it and like was like it was terrifying.
I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty creepy, and like I love the atmosphere of it.
Hmm.
Um, and I enjoyed it. I think I've enjoyed each film I've seen of it. But like I've said on my channel before, if I'm entertained by the movie, if I'm like kept like you know, uh, just watching or entertained, I enjoy it, even if it is like terrible. So,
That's
um,
true. My problem with like found footage films, because I'm not a big fan, is just the fact that like I'm sure like yeah, the Blair Witch Project when it came out probably terrifying because it was kind of a newer of its time, but it's just like with every found footage film, you know that it's not real, so it like loses its magic in my opinion.
what's
Yeah.
really interesting is I was watching something with my dad one time, and it was called The Last Broadcast. And I thought it was like a documentary, straight up documentary, because my I didn't expect my dad to be watching like some strange horror movie. And it seemed like it was a documentary, like the way they were going about it.
Mhm.
And, it was like about the Jersey Devil. And
Oh, okay.
at the end, I was like, I just turned to him and I'm like, this isn't real, is it? And he goes, I don't know, because I think he for a minute thought it might have been real. I don't know if he started it
Yeah.
in the beginning or what, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just looked it up. It is part of I think it came out in 98.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also found footage. So, yeah. Um and it for a while it creeped me out the ending because I was like, "Wait, was that real?" And then I was like, "No, this can't be real." So once I saw like that ending scene, I'm like, "No way."
Yeah, I like documentaries and stuff. Those are always fun, but I'm just like I said, found footage. It's like hard to be terrified by found footage because it's like it's not real, and that's I guess like the whole thought behind it. It's like ooh, it's spooky found footage, but it's not really found footage
Right.
unless it is like a documentary. But
Right. And I think that's why it like affected me so much because initially I thought it was real.
yeah, that makes sense. I feel
Yeah.
yeah, definitely if you go into something thinking
Yeah.
that it is.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. That's another good one.
Yes. That's amazing. Anthony Hopkins is just awesome. I just love his facial expressions and the way he like says his lines, and yeah, he's just amazing.
I know that's another one that I can like. It's a favorite that I can like definitely rewatch
Oh yeah,
a lot.
it's a favorite for me too. Um and just all the like iconic lines that come from it and people still quote it to this day. Um
Mhm.
and just I can't get through that movie without getting Goodbye Horses stuck in my head.
That's true. Yeah, I love the use of music within film, just kind of in general, but especially with like horror. I think like Red Right Hand, even though that song has become, it's like the theme song for, I can't, I can't remember the name of the show. There's some show that is like this. Somebody in the chat's gonna know what I'm talking about, but it's got that show that's got Cillian Murphy in it. I don't remember what it's
I'm
called,
blanking.
but somebody's gonna know, I'm sure. But it's like it's the theme song for that show, but I will always think of it as like the unofficial theme song for Scream because it's in I believe it's in every single film at some point, like even just kind of like quietly in the background. I know it's like in the first film, it's in the scene where Sydney and Tatum are going to the grocery store
Uh-huh.
for the party. It like plays overhead, and then it's used like throughout the franchise. So for me, the song I will always like associate it with Scream. And I love songs like that can like that use of music, and you can like hear a song and instantly like think of a movie.
Right.
Oh, Sixth Sense came out in '99.
Yes, that's right. And that was another really great one.
Yeah, that one surprise ending for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I saw a lot of people talking about the people under the stairs.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
Oh no, you have to watch it.
Let me see. I know I've heard of it, but I'm not sure if I've seen it.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I probably have. I just don't really remember it.
You know, I was surprised. I have like memories of it when I was like a kid. And like not that it has too much to deal with it, just the idea like that there are people, you know, under things or in walls or whatever has always stuck with me. Like even as a kid, like I had nightmares about someone living in my house without me knowing, like in the walls, and just that creepy idea. Even though it doesn't really have too much to do with the actual movie, just the idea of it creeped me out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and there are like you do hear stories of like people finding things like in the walls of their house or like of hotels and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, it happens. It just depends on how old your house is. Like, I'm convinced our room, which I am sitting in right now, has a ghost because it gets weirdly colder than the rest of the house. And we have cats, and they will like react to stuff, which I mean, cats are weird in general, but I'm just like, I swear we have a ghost. But what?
I was gonna say you need to send your ghost over here because I'm melting right now.
Really? I know it's hot outside. I'm in Vegas. It's been like in the hundreds, but it's cold.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 106 here today.
Shit, and where are you at?
In California, in the valley.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So are you getting hit by the little off track? Are you getting hit by the earthquakes?
Yes, it was creepy.
We got the aftershock, I think. Like everybody's been like, we got earthquakes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we just got the aftershock. Like, calm down.
It's very unsettling to feel like the floor moving underneath your feet.
Oh yeah, I know. I was sitting there. The first one that I felt, I thought my cat was just like messing with the couch, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, that is way too big." And then I heard about the earthquake, and then the second time, me and my boyfriend's mom were actually sitting outside, and we both were just like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, and then that kind of like brings up, like, well, earth shaking makes me think of Tremors.
Oh yeah, they were talking about Tremors in there.
They were?
Yeah, they were talking. They said somebody said Tremors was like the best '90s, I think, or something.
Yeah, I love it. Fun movie.
So
just love the idea of things in the sand, like
I know
graboids. So much. They're so cool.
Oh, that is such a good film. So Scuba Steve, we should already know this. Maybe he's asking you more so, but he said, "Do you have any '90s horror inspired tattoos?" Corey answered already and said that I do because I have my Scream tattoo.
I do not actually. I do not.
Do you have any tattoos?
Not yet, but then again, I'm also a teacher, so sometimes I'm a little afraid to like, you know, put things in certain areas. I've wanted to on my forearm for quite a while. I'm just trying to like work up the courage and hopefully like no one at my workplace would say anything. And if so, I mean, I guess I could always cover it up with makeup, but that would kind of stink.
Yeah. No, I feel you. It definitely sucks. I feel like getting off track because tattoos are something I'm passionate about as well because I have quite a few. But yeah, I mean, we're getting to a better place, I feel like, in society when it comes to that stuff. I mean, I know a lot of the people, I work in an animal hospital, I work in the kennel department, so I'm not face to face with people, but I know a lot of the people I work with, doctors included, have tattoos. A lot of the girls that work up front have tattoos. So it's definitely coming a long way, but I definitely feel like, especially in fields like with like doctors and teachers, it definitely can still be like an unfortunate issue. So I can definitely
Yeah.
understand why like you would be hesitant to get something that shows.
Yeah.
I always knew I wasn't gonna be like in some big professional field. So
I know a few of my coworkers have them, but they're kind of like in more like, you know, able to
conservative
be
places.
hidden spots, even though I see them pretty much day to day. I'm one of those type of people that always kind of like, well, is my boss going to say something? And I just totally want to avoid it.
Yeah, and living in California, it's not like you can just like wear a sweater at work all day.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you live somewhere where it was like colder weather, you can, yeah, just slap on like a sweater.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I'm wearing a sweater right now. But I know Olivia's screw tattoo. I want to get Sam from Trick or Treat. Yes, I'm hoping that my next tattoo is going to be something Trick or Treat related as well.
Did you see that Spirit was coming out with a Trick or Treat animatronic?
I think I did. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm like needing it.
I just can't wait for Halloween. I'm like gonna go all out this year on like buying stuff. So yeah, it's the best time of the year. I get all my house decorations during
Yeah,
Halloween.
definitely.
Uh,
Speaking of Halloween, one of my favorites to watch during Halloween is Sleepy Hollow. I just feel like that movie embodies Halloween.
it does. I agree. That is a fantastic film.
Just the like use of color and the costumes, and it just gives off this eerie feel. And I actually was allowed to watch that when it first came out. I saw it in theaters, and it just, I don't know, it just stuck with me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And see, I was allowed to watch stuff like that. And like other creepy weird stuff. So it's not that shocking that I'm into the spooky field at all. Because like I said, my dad, like we watched like the monster films, Dracula. My dad has this, it's a little weird story, but he's got like this original sandwich that he makes, that he named the Swamp Thing because him and my mom were like, which I mean, that one's not so much horror, but they were like watching that when he like made the sandwich. So
That's
like,
cute.
yeah, my family's weird. But yeah, got me into the weird stuff I'm into. The Craft, not horror, but epic 90s
Yeah,
weirdness.
I thought it was a great movie.
It is. I recently actually went to just we have. Do you guys have Savor in California?
What?
Savor. It's like kind of like a Goodwill type place.
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
Okay, well, it's basically like a Goodwill type situation.
Oh,
And I went there recently and actually got a VHS of Scream and a VHS of The Craft. I was like, hell
oh,
yeah.
awesome.
Mickey said, wait, do people not consider The Craft horror? I guess it kind of is. Like that last couple scenes of The Craft are definitely pretty scary. Like pretty sure I developed like a bug fear when I was younger because of like those final scenes of The Craft. Okay, people consider The Craft to be horror. I misspoke. I'm sorry, everybody in the chat. I saw somebody say something about Boy Meets World, so hold on. This Boy Meets World with yes,
Oh,
that Boy
wasn't there like
Meets World
a horror
episode.
episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Boy Meets World is like my favorite TV show of all time because obviously I'm a '90s kid, and they have the best horror episodes. There's like an episode where Corey gets turned into a werewolf. There's the Witches of Something episode that had the actress that played Sabrina as Sabrina, and one of the actresses from Full House, like the older sister, she was on it as well. And then I'm trying to remember the other actress. Anyway, but three like 90s actresses that played like witches, and then they had the one that everybody really knows, which is called and then there was Sean, I believe is what the I know the title of the episode. That's how passionate I am. But it's that best one. It had Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was actually dating the actor that played Eric Matthews, the oldest brother at the
Mhm.
time, in real life. And yeah, she like plays like a character on that episode. But yeah, that's the one where like everybody is like dying off and stuff.
That's the
That
one I
is,
remember.
yeah, that's the one everybody like
Yeah.
loves. I said Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, Will Friedle or whatever. Darling Darkness knows what's up. Hey, Glamour. I qualify the craft as horror too. I can see why some people might not, but it's definitely horror to me. Yeah, she played Jennifer Love Pepperman. That's right. Like just changed her last name. Yeah, that is such a epic episode. The '90s really did have like the best episodes of like horror stuff or Halloween episodes, I guess.
Yeah.
Girl Meets World didn't get a cool Halloween episode. No, Girl Meets World got done dirty. I
I didn't
actually
even start it. I heard it was
really,
on and I didn't there wasn't a streaming site for me to watch it,
yeah.
but that I could find anyway.
Think it is on. It might be on Netflix now.
Really?
I don't
Oh,
recall. I think
cool.
it was for a little bit, but the only show that does Halloween episodes now is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That is true, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine has some pretty epic Halloween episodes too. 90s horror was so much more Halloween, but it wasn't. Girl Meets World. Oh, somebody did say that Girl Meets World had one Halloween episode, but it wasn't good. See, I don't even
Oh,
remember it, so it obviously wasn't that as epic as that one that everyone will always remember.
yeah.
Interview with a Vampire.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
what
another
vampire?
favorite.
Oh, and I know somebody did mention New Nightmare, which is absolutely one of my favorites of the Freddy franchise.
Uh-huh.
I think that New Nightmare is a fantastic film. Somebody I know mentioned that earlier, but
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
addressed it yet.
There was so much that actually came out in the 90s that I was like when I went and looked and researched like what can I binge?
Yeah.
Just I was surprised at how much had come out that we still enjoy. Like we have creature features that came out, we have alien movies that came out, sci-fi horror, gothic horror, crime horror, slasher, vampires, and a bunch of other movies. Like recently, I had seen a werewolf movie, Bad Moon, which I had never heard of or saw before, and it was so good. Like I was surprised at how good it was. I enjoyed it so much.
I don't think I have seen that one either.
I I recommend it. It's pretty fun, and it's actually based on a book too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, see there, Gory
Oh,
just
yeah.
said on Thor, and I looked for that on Audible after I finished, the movie, and it wasn't on there, and I was so
Oh.
bummed because I was so into, the dog in the movie. It was just so cool.
Nice. I will have to look it up. So, Mr. Meat Hook, The New Nightmare is the second best of the series. I kind of have to agree, depending on what you think the first is the best, but that's probably the first film. I have to check that out. All of the POV of the dog is what Corey.
Yes. That's what I really loved about the movie. I thought it was super creative. And I loved that the dog was able to act throughout all those scenes, and I'm just like a dog person, so
Really, that sounds awesome.
yeah.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah, I have a few. I mean, I live out in the country and basically in the middle of nowhere, and people aren't the best and they dump animals out here, so I rescue animals and stuff like that. So, I have a few.
No, for sure. I definitely like working at a animal hospital. Like I know a girl that works that she kind of lives on like a farmish area, and
Mhm.
she has said that like all of her dogs that she has are literally just from like at our workplace because we work with some of the rescues. Or like people will surrender over their animals. Like she literally just adopted one of the cats that like a family surrendered over
Oh.
who was with us. They were nice enough that they were paying for him to be like kept there,
Yeah.
kenneled. And so, but yeah, she finally ended up. He was there for a while, and uh, he started getting kind of like depressed because initially he was like, "Okay, I'm here, fine, whatever." He's a sweet cat, but then you could tell that he started feeling like, "Oh, my family is like not coming back for me," and so girl at work just like took him home, and she's like, "Now I'm a cat person." I'm like, "That's how it happens. You get one cat, and then suddenly
Yeah.
you're a cat."
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, if I had the space, if we had the space, I would definitely be like
Yeah.
head under animals. I want that someday to live kind of like I don't want to live necessarily in the middle of nowhere, but like farm-ish, just enough to have space to have a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Idle Hands had Seth Green and Jessica Alba. Did Idle Hands? That came out in the 90s. Yep, 1999. Idle Hands is another one of my favorites.
You
That
know
movie is
what?
so
I don't
good.
think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, girl, you gotta check it out. Even if you rent it or something on Amazon. Amazon Prime Day is coming up.
I will look it
It's,
up and make sure I
it,
watch it.
it's so good. It also has Devin Sawa's in it. Uh, who is in Final Destination, the first one, and like they said, Seth Green, who's an actor I've loved since like Buffy, and then Glam or Glamour Gore said, "Let's hear it for the dogs of war that live in the end." True that, true that.
You know,
But
every time I watch a horror movie, there's a dog in it, I will look it up and see if the dog or cat survives, just so I can like mentally prepare myself.
I know I literally, if I just type "does" into my like phone browser, the first thing that pops up is like "does the dog die.com." Because I will well, and I love that site because not have you ever used that one?
No, I haven't.
You should because and I suggest for anybody to use that one because one of the things that I love about it is that it doesn't just talk about like, oh, does dogs die? It'll give you like people can go in and tell you or leave comments about different stuff that happens. So you can look up if there's sexual assault, if there's like heavy flashing lights, if there's animal death, child death, different stuff like that.
Right.
And it'll like tell you people will vote on whether or not that like stuff is in there, which I think is really helpful, especially because I know there's definitely like some stuff I prefer to try to avoid. And if sometimes you look up like the description of a movie or even just like the title of a movie and you're like, I kind of wonder what's gonna be in this. It's very helpful to like look up that. And then yeah, again, if you see like an animal in a film, you can be like, oh, okay, yes, no, the animal did or didn't die. So
Yeah.
it's very helpful. Bride of Chucky that came out that year too.
Yes. I
So
saw,
did
Nightmare Maven brought up Army of Darkness, and I
yeah,
love Army of Darkness. I love Bruce Campbell. And that was actually one of the movies that I was able to watch as a kid. My dad put it on and we watched it. And for a long time when I was that little, I didn't even know that there were movies before that. And then when I found out, I just like was like, how did I not know this? But I was so young at the time that I just like accepted it as its own little movie.
yeah.
And I would actually take it to friends' houses. Like we would go to the like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video which was another big staple of like my childhood is going to the video store.
Oh yeah.
But we would have sleepovers and they would ask, well, why don't you pick something? And I'm like, okay. So I run, of course, to that one because I thought it was fun, horror, and I put it in and they would just sat there looking at me like I was insane. And I was like, okay. But I enjoy that movie. And I was trying to spread the wealth, but
Yeah,
they didn't appreciate it.
sometimes people don't. People don't always appreciate
Yeah.
what we give them. Trying to think of some other ones. Let's see. Gremlins 2. I don't think I've seen Gremlins 2. I know I've obviously seen the first one, but
Yeah, it's fun.
I will have to check it out. Not seeing on that. I still know what you did last summer.
I watched Island of Dr. Moreau last night too.
I've not seen that one.
Uh,
What's that one about?
it's basically there's this guy and he he gets on this island and he starts discovering that some strange stuff is going on the island and I don't want to give too much away because it's interesting, but it's really cool. There's awesome special effects, and
Oh,
as I was sitting there by myself, even though it's not really a scary movie, it just kind of like is strange. I was totally getting creeped out by one of the creatures like growls and snarls and stuff like that because I was by myself and I was just
yeah.
like it was super late and I was just creeped out by it. I don't know why because I've not really been creeped out by the movie before, but it
Mhm.
just gave me the willies last night.
Oh,
The creature was played by Ron Perlman.
oh,
So
really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's another great voice.
And Fruja Balk is also in that movie.
Uh,
So
okay,
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
yeah, definitely.
And what was it called again?
It's Island of Dr. Moreau.
Google. Oh, of course, the It miniseries.
Yes. Awesome movie. Well,
Oh, I should have worn my shirt. What are your thoughts on that versus the movie?
I like them both. I think both give like love to the novel, you know? Um, I enjoy the differences in them and I appreciate where one movie went a little bit different and the other uh, did as well.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I kind of see them on like an equal playing field. It's not
Yeah.
like I choose one over the other.
See, for me, I really liked the movie because and part of it for me, I think, is that like when you watch the mini series, Pennywise seemed like even though they obviously have like him, he does change in the film or in the mini series to like
Hmm.
other creatures and things. I feel like the majority of the time he's just shown as being like this kind of just creepy clown. Which I mean, I
Right.
guess he is in the movie as well, but I feel like in the movie he does like a little bit better job of like showing that he's kind of or even explaining that he's kind of this like other thing,
Right. Right.
that he's not like a
Just a
solid being.
clown.
Like,
Right.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like in the mini series, he spends so much of the time just like as Pennywise the clown that I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get that.
and but I mean, it's still obviously classic.
I am super excited to see where the second half of the movie goes.
Oh, me too. I
So,
have a little bit of mixed feelings about it due to the fact that I feel like part of what I loved in the first half is that for the most part, you have this entire cast of like kids and actors that nobody really knew who they were.
Mhm.
You have Finn Wolfhard, who's obviously in Stranger Things, but even at the time, and I'm sure while they were filming it, like nobody really knew who he was. So like you have this cast of young kids, nobody knows who they are. That's part of like the charm. And then they picked a set of great actors. Like I love Bill Hader. I'm kind of excited that he's in this, but at the same time, it's like everybody knows who these people are. I
Right.
feel like, and that kind of, I feel like might take away from that a little bit. So
Mhm.
I get wanting to have like a great set of actors, and people with experience under their belt, but I feel like they're all too famous. That kind of
Hopefully when you watch it, you won't be able to see them as them.
that's true.
Because
Exactly.
sometimes when I see actors in films, like, I know it's them, but the way they're portraying the character is just so well
Hmm.
done that, like, I totally ignore that it's them, if that makes any sense.
That's true. Yeah, and I mean, I'm one of those people that went into the film knowing who Bill Skarsgård is. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, he's been makeup like the entire time because Hemlock Grove is a TV show
Oh
or
my
was a show that
gosh.
I loved.
Same, I love
Uh,
that.
Horrible ending, but great. Anyway, so I just hate that they ended it so like there's no way that they could ever bring the show back. Which
Yeah, I
makes sense,
mean,
but
th
still depressing.
it's a good thing and a bad thing. You enjoy the show and then it ends so quickly, but then again, you know that if it extended too much longer, like, where could the story go? And,
Yeah.
like, certain movie or certain shows get ruined by being extended so long.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's like because we did have like the first season was great, second season got a little weird, and then like the third season was still pretty great. So
Yeah.
I kind of did a good job of that. But yeah, so I was like, just like you, one of those people that went in like knowing who he was,
Yeah.
and then people come out and everybody loves Bill Skarsgård.
I know.
But I was like, hey, I was there first. One of those opening people. Let's see.
Another, movie that came out in the '90s that I was thinking about is Fire in the Sky. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, it is so creepy. It's, like, part of the sci-fi alien horror, of the '90s.
Oh,
Um, it's based on a story of a man who says he was abducted by aliens, and he tells a story, basically. And it's pretty interesting and creepy, and just the experience that, is portrayed throughout the film is, really terrifying.
yeah, sounds like it would be.
Yeah.
So is it the actual guy telling the story, or is it like an actor?
It's an actor, but it's based on the story that the guy, told.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, I don't know what happened on my end. The chat wasn't loading, so I like refreshed. So I'm like, I'm sorry that I missed things. What are we talking? Okay, I missed a lot. Blur 2 was an American. I think that's supposed to be pie. Yep, probably. She was afraid of Pee Wee Herman, but slept with a talking Freddy Krueger doll. Hey, Pee Wee Herman is pretty creepy. Rage Carrie too. Okay, bed. Get out. No, just kidding. But we're not talking about Carrie too. We sucked.
Communion? I had not heard of that movie. I will have to look at that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. Somebody said Cube. I'm
Thank
not
you.
sure.
That's his name, the man who was, abducted, Travis. I think, Carrie 2 is actually on YouTube for free right now.
Probably.
I wanted to watch it, but then again, I was like, I didn't get a chance to because I was binging all these other ones.
That's okay. We don't need to talk about no, because I love the first Carrie. It's one of my like absolute favorites, and favorite like Stephen King adaptation. So I just did not like the second one. Though I mean, I guess I don't completely shit on the remake. It's not great, but yeah, they tried.
I'm pretty sure I remember watching it like as a young teen, and I'm sure I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Arachnophobia, I see, is brought up. Yeah, that
Mhm.
terrifying spiders.
It,
There was a lot of like creature movies that came out, like Anaconda and
mhm.
um, like Lake Placid.
I know. Now we're starting to get like those again. Like the 90s
Yes,
is coming back. We have like all these movies that are like continuing franchises or remakes, and then
yes.
now we're getting creature features.
Hmm.
I kind of want to go see Crawl. I actually think that looks really
Yes,
good.
I want to
And
see it too.
Emma from Spooky Astronauts did like a spoil-free review, and she really enjoyed it. So I okay, yeah. Miser said Crawl was awesome. What about the Psycho remake? I have not seen the Psycho remake.
Is that the one that
It's
what's
like,
his name is in?
yeah, the dude that
Um,
does all the
I
comedy.
that's one I don't watch.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
play
no, it's kind of like blasphemy for me,
or
the 90s one.
it's true.
Like, Vince Vaughn, get out of here.
I know. That's so weird. But didn't he recently I feel like he recently did a movie that was like not bad.
I
That
just
was
did
not
not appreciate that they redid Psycho. I felt like that's a movie that should be left untouched.
yeah, I know. Well, and is the remake I'm trying to think. Hold on. Is the remake in color?
Yeah.
See,
And it's like shot for shot too, from what I
yeah.
remember. I watched it once and then I was just like, I felt dirty afterward.
See, and like Cabin Fever is a film that I love. And I didn't completely hate the remake. And I think the fact that they did that one as a shot for shot was actually kind of cool. Um,
I have not seen the remake.
so yeah, I mean I would suggest checking it out. It's definitely I mean, it is shot for shot, so you're like, we already have that film. But
Mhm.
I mean it's not like horrible. It's not like the best, but Darling Darkness and I am obsessed with Cabin Fever. Yeah, that's and I mean, like I said, I like boy, I love Boy Meets World, so obviously, like Cabin Fever has Ryder Strong in it. So
Yes, Troll 2 is so fun.
Troll Two, sorry, there was
Nightmare Maven.
oh Troll
Yeah.
Two, the '90s flick.
Yes.
Sure, sure.
Hmm.
Well, I'm like looking for what I just decided to like look at Vince Vaughn movies to see if there's anything. He has done quite a few non-comedy stuff. He did Hacksaw Ridge, which isn't horror, but that's a pretty good movie. Let's see. What,
Have we talked about Bram Stoker's Dracula?
we have not. No,
That was another one that came out in the 90s.
it is. Yep.
Gorgeous film, gorgeous like outfits, costuming, just awesome.
I agree.
Did The Good Son come out in the 90s? I see Zachary. I'm gonna Google it because that was one that I was obsessed with when I
Oh
was
yeah,
younger.
I think that did. Yeah, '93.
90, yeah. That was such a good movie. I
That is
watched
really
that
good.
one more than probably 10 times.
Yeah, I didn't see that one when I was younger, but I did see it like a couple years ago, and that movie is definitely like
Baby Elijah Wood and Macaulay
oh,
Culkin.
I know. Oh, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
He is hilarious. If you don't follow him on Twitter, I highly suggest you do. He's very I'm trying to think. Interview with the Vampire. Something like that. I know Vicky just recently talked about Jacob's Ladder, but I have not seen that film.
You know, I wanted to watch it and it was on my list forever on Hulu, but then I think they removed it recently, which was totally a bummer because I would have watched it before the stream.
Ah, really? Because I put it on my watch list, so if it was removed, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that one too. Dreamers. I'm like going through this list. Oh, Misery.
Yeah,
I didn't think
that's a
about
good
that one.
one.
It's another good one. Yep, almost time for hour 17. So yeah, let me go ahead and just so you guys know, links to some of my stuff should be. Oh, I thought I added links in the video thing. My bad. I'll add links afterwards. But yeah, make sure that if you're not subscribed to both of us, that you are. Uh, and um, horror show host is next. So I think Gory already did it, but let's plop that there in the chat. Man, that hour went by fast.
It sure did because we were talking about some awesome movies of the
I know,
90s.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for everybody for joining. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. We should stream again sometime.
Yes, it was so much fun. Thank you for having me on your channel.
Oh, hold on, I lost my headphones. Can't hear anything.
Oh.
You're very welcome. Like, pulled right out of my ear. Ow. Second time it happened. Oh, by the way, I love your headphones.
Oh, thanks. They light up too.
I should have worn my Spider-Man ones.
I'm obsessed with these.
Those are so cute. All right, well, thank you everybody who joined. And yeah, make sure that you head on over to the next stream.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.